Hey guys, this is just going to be a really quick, kind of sloppy one here. It's about pumping oil out of your truck instead of crawling under it and doing an oil change. Um, I had a couple takes here, so I'm going to just dive in and just get started here, but you'll see. So I've got a skid plate on the bottom of my truck. It's the TRD, the OEM one that came on my off-road. I think it was an option to add, so I don't think it necessarily comes on every one. I'll put a picture of what it looks like up on the screen. And the thing that I'm going to be using is an oil pump that you actually stick down the dipstick. So here we go. I'm going to hit play on this as a voiceover here in Premiere. So this is the item itself. It's the Four Uncles, I believe it's called, but there's a bunch of them that are all just the same. And what you do is you basically daisy chain these hoses together, and they have little attachments, and then you feed it down the dipstick tube. You can also go through the oil opening, but I just ran directly into the cylinders in there. So I think going down the dipstick tube is the proper way. And then you turn it on. There's a little lever up there, and you can see I've got about 3.5 liters so far out of the thing. It takes about the engine holds about 5.5 liters, about 5.9 quarts, I think. And so here you can see the air tube going up to my compressor, which I have the reel mounted on the ceiling. This is the oil I'll be using. It's a Mobil 1 0W20. It's truck and SUV, which I don't know if that really matters, but I got two of those, 5 gallons. And then a Fram, a PH 9467, I think it is, the oil filter. So you can see under here, there's the skid plate. And so in order to do an oil change, my garage is a pretty tight fit for the Tacoma. And so I would have to put it up on ramps or lift it up. And I just don't have a lot of space to do that. And so I figured I could get away with doing it this way once and see how it works. Here I've got a little light showing you the oil filter itself is accessible without taking off the skid plate. There it is there. And you can even see there's a little spigot that is built into the where it screws on that will direct the oil flow. And so you'll see a little thing that I did here. But basically, I'm running this. I keep running it here. This is a second video, and so now you can see it's up past 5 liters. It's getting between 5 and 6. And so once it starts to kind of sputter out, like if you're drinking a milkshake and you start making that noise with the straw, you can see what you can do is you can kind of put it in there and kind of mash it around a little bit on the bottom, and you'll get some extra dredges out. I think it actually does a really good job. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube where they compare, like, are you leaving oil in the bottom of the pan? And I don't think so. I think this goes directly down to the bottom of the pan, and you can feel it when you move it around, and you can see it's getting some extra. You can kind of wiggle it around in different areas. But people have done tests where they do it this way, and then they open the drain plug at the bottom to see how much extra comes out, and it's like 3 drops. There's like literally nothing. So I think this is actually doing a really good job at getting all of it from down in the bottom. So I'm not super worried about it. I'm not sure that I'll do every oil change this way, but I figure for the 6,000 oil change, it's not a big deal. So here I'm making a thing with a Walmart bag and some wire, like some inner wall wire if you were going to do some, like, install an outlet in your house. And so you can see this is what I end up with. It's just basically like I don't have any coat hangers, and so I was like, I'll get some wire and I'll tape it on a bag, and then I'll position it up here under the filter to catch that oil, because otherwise it would just fall straight down on the frame and on the top of the skid plate, and it would make a huge mess. So my phone at this point died, and so I don't have the footage of getting the actual filter off. But suffice to say, my little bag trick worked here. I mean, you could get a little tray. They sell little kind of spout oil positioners that you can use, that you can stick in place, that I think have little magnets in them and stuff. But overall, this worked really well. And again, my phone was like, I was trying to take photos here and I like have the light on, and then it reached a point where it was like, oh, your phone's dead. So that's the footage that I have. It's, again, this is not the greatest video, I know. It's kind of low effort, but I have been very sick and the weather's been shitty, so I apologize for the C minus here. But just to say, you know, again, the theme of the channel being underspend Overland. I'm not trying to spend $1 zillion. Anywhere I can save a couple bucks, I'm trying to do that. And so doing your own oil changes. If you don't do your own oil changes, I feel like it's kind of silly. And also, I was worried that if I went to the local oil change shop, that they would try to tack on a $50 fee to remove the skid plate, even though it's technically only 4 bolts down there. So this was just I wanted to give it a try and see how it worked out. I think it worked really well. Again, here's the items that I ended up using. I'll put these up on screen. Thanks, y'all. Happy holidays. Hope you guys have a good Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, whatever it is that you celebrate. But I'll see you in the next year.